Hello and welcome to our 5-minute summary for your Germany paper. Today we're going to have a look at the Treaty of Versailles and its impact on Germany. And there are 4 key points that we're going to be discussing. Firstly, we need to know that Germany was not consulted during the peace talks. This led to a lot of resentment amongst the German population. Secondly, the treaty punished Germany, both economically, militarily and territorially. Thirdly, the German people hated this treaty and called it a diktat, a dictated peace. They blamed the Weimar Republic government for signing it. The most hated clause was something called Article 231, the War Guilt Clause. And we need to understand, lastly, that the treaty itself was very harsh, especially the reparations, the economic implications for Germany. It had lasting and significant repercussions for the country. Okay, so let's begin. The Treaty of Versailles was signed in the Palace of Versailles, just outside Paris, by the Allied representatives of Britain, France and America, and also a representative from Italy. Germany was not invited to take part in the negotiations. It was signed following months of discussions on the 28th of June 1919, exactly 5 years after the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, which triggered the First World War. Now, the main terms of the Treaty of Versailles, we use the mnemonic BRAT to help us remember them. Firstly, they were forced to accept blame for starting the war. This was Article 231, also known as the War Guilt Clause. This was the most hated clause of the treaty because the German people felt that it was Russia that had in fact started the war, not them. Also, this clause legitimised all of the other clauses that were imposed on Germany. The next one are the economic implications of this treaty for Germany. The reparations. Germany was forced to pay £6.6 billion in reparations for their part in the war. They also lost their merchant navy, which was essential for imports, and also the Saar coalfields were given to France for a period of 15 years. I'll show in a map where that is in a moment. And that meant that Germany lost 48% of its coal production, which had major financial implications. Thirdly, the German army was limited. Their air force was banned. Their navy was limited to 6 ships and no submarines. Their army was limited to 100,000 men, down from 2 million at the start of the First World War. Conscription, that's compulsory military service, tanks and artillery were also banned, and the Rhineland area on the border of France and Germany was demilitarised, meaning no army equipment, soldiers, or weapons of any sort were allowed there. And lastly, territorial restrictions. Germany lost in total about 13% of its land, including its overseas colonies. 6 million German people became displaced, and they also lost 15% of their agricultural or farming land, which is significant. Anschluss, that's union with Austria, was banned. And the Alsace-Lorraine, which had been won at the end of the Franco-Prussian War by Germany, was returned to France. A Polish corridor was also created in the east, allowing Poland access to the sea in the Baltics. Now, I find this photograph quite interesting. This is the crew of a German naval ship, and they are leaving their ship. This is just before the treaty was signed. It's in June 1919, but it's after the terms were made public and they knew that Germany was going to be forced to hand over its navy. And instead of handing over its navy to the Allies, they actually decided to scuttle their ships. I've got a description of what's happening here that you can pause the video and you can read it at your leisure. Okay, so this map shows the territorial losses made to Germany. So I'm just going to circle a couple of things here for you that are significant. Okay, so here you've got the Alsace-Lorraine, which was returned to France, and you've got the Saar coalfields there that were given to France for a period of 15 years. There was also some land lost to Belgium here, and this bit is the Rhineland that was demilitarised. Okay, now the Polish corridor is this area here. So the area of Silesia and Posen was given to Poland in order to give them a corridor to the sea up here for trading. Danzig, which is now the city of Gdansk in northern Poland, became a free city that was run by the League of Nations. And this effectively cuts off East Prussia from the rest of Germany. Okay, so let's return to our 4 key points. We're almost at 5 minutes. I think I might go slightly over. So your 4 key points. Germany was not consulted during the peace talks. 2. The treaty punished Germany economically, militarily and territorially. 3. German people hated this treaty and called it a diktat, a dictated peace. They blamed the Weimar Republic for signing it. The most hated clause was Article 231. And fourthly, the treaty was harsh, especially the reparations. It had significant and lasting repercussions for Germany that we see later on in the course. Now, finally, to test your knowledge, pause the video and see if you can answer these questions and go back to your notes to check those answers. Okay, I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening.